Woo! Boy,
Man.
I'll tell you what, if you watched our first episode and you didn't get that, oof.
It's the real
I'm hyped
deal.
up. I'm hyped up. Jared,
It's actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm surprised by our creative talents to make that come to fruition because I feel like that's pretty dope.
so Jared, you're impressed by our creative talents, or you're shocked by our creative talents? Because I would say we wouldn't be doing this if we weren't at least somewhat creative, right?
True. I'm still shocked, impressed, all of it, honestly.
Either way, I'll tell you what, we have an intro now, guys. This is it. This is big time.
Now we're official.
We are officially Armchair Analysis. As the vinyl said, just two guys that know nothing about everything. And we're excited to talk about nothing today. Am I right, Jared?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, hell
Pretty
yeah.
much, man. Pretty much. But yeah, how's your week been going, man? Tell the people how you been.
Man. Been good. I know we talked about just houses and stuff, and and how it's like an endless journey. But excitingly, I feel like I'm one of those people. I actually enjoy projects. I enjoy, get my hands dirty a little bit. I enjoy building stuff. So, I just recently I live alone, and one of the things I've always enjoyed is just like, again, is building. So I wanted to build myself a bar. Again, I think I mentioned this last time. Chattanooga is a great place to live. It's up and coming. Again, give it 5 more years. Am I right, Jared?
At least
5. We'll put 5 with a little asterisk next to it, but 5 years. What it doesn't have is it doesn't have a whole ton. It's got a little bit of nightlife, but if you haven't met Jared and I, if you've never seen us, after we let our hair down, Jared and I, we like to dance. We like loud music. I enjoy, a drink here and there. And what better place than the comfort of your house, where you don't have to worry about waiting for an Uber, blowing through a bunch of money. And at the end of the day, it's probably going to end up being more fun because you're with your friends. You're yelling at each other the same way you would be at a bar. You just don't have to worry about waiting for a drink or waiting for the bathroom.
And you don't have to try and go to the DJ to request a certain song.
No, right? You still do, because
next to you.
Right. It's not sardines, but no matter what, I still got the aux cord. I'm not relinquishing that power.
Now, are you in I feel like you're in a new spot than you were last time we recorded. Are you
same
is this
spot,
like an official desk area you got?
Official desk area, same spot, just my voice. It sounds a little, it's not.
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
It's back to being its sultry self. So
nice.
We're back.
Nice.
What about you, Jared? Tell us how your week went.
Well, like I alluded to you before we hopped on recording, I was in a little bit of a rut. I'm not going to lie, man. These last couple weeks, I know. I don't know. I honestly don't know what it was. Or at least initially, I'll say this. Initially, I didn't know what it was. It was one of those things where it's not like anything was going poorly. Things are going really well with work, actually stepping into some really exciting new roles into the new year that were confirmed over the last few weeks. Patients, pretty much like majority of my patients are doing really, really well. Life otherwise is good. Life with the missus is good and everything. So it was weird. I think that's what made it a little bit more frustrating, that I was like, I don't really have anything super significant going wrong right now. Like, why am I, usually like majority of the time I'm in a pretty healthy flow state of like, get up, ready to execute the day, ready to grind. Right. And the past couple of weeks has been a little sluggish to get me going. I still make it to the gym, but I'm getting there later. So I'm not getting my full workout in, and just not my usual kind of pepped up self. And, yeah, I feel like I'm slowly kind of coming out of that rut a little bit. Definitely.
So do you know what the root cause is?
I think so, man. So like you and I have chatted about something I do pretty often is I journal, and I hadn't journaled in a while. So I did that this morning, actually, when I first got up, since I didn't have work today, I took my time and I was like, I have all this shit going on up here in my head. I need to get this out of my head. And so I was just journaling a little bit. I was writing some stuff down, and I think the gist of it came down to the fact that, my birthday is right around the corner. And although I'm super excited, I get pretty, I feel pretty grateful to get older. I'm not one of those people that are afraid of aging, but as you know, I'm pretty hard on myself, and I pretty much end every year going into my new year to be like, hey, this is going to be the year that I accomplish the world, right? Like I literally accomplish the world and everything. So I put big goals on myself, knowing that I'm not going to accomplish all of them within 1 year. But I think every time I get a little bit closer to my birthday, I realize some of the things I tend to harp on the things I didn't accomplish and get kind of frustrated with myself. And I was like, damn, X, Y, and Z, I didn't get to this year, or I didn't execute as well as I maybe wanted to, or maybe I got 50% of the way there, not 100% of the way there. And yeah, man. So fortunately, though, like I said, I feel like I got myself out of my rut. I did the two things that usually help me in that type of scenario. And maybe this will help somebody else that ever goes through a similar situation. But
Remind the people what those two things were.
yeah. So the two things that I did was I wrote down a lot of the things that I have accomplished throughout the year. All right. So I wrote down a lot of things that I have accomplished to remind myself, like, yeah, maybe you didn't conquer the world, but you still got a lot of shit done this year. So you got to be proud of yourself for that. I reminded myself of the adversity I overcame in the midst of accomplishing what I did accomplish. And then I also had a nice date with the gym, man. Right after that, I finally got myself to the gym, and me and the Stairmaster just became, we got a little snuggly. We got a little snuggly on the
I thought you
Stairmaster,
were about
man.
to say one. I was going to say, are you allowed back in that gym?
So yeah, man, went to the gym, sweated it out, man, took it out on some weights as well. And I feel like and then talking about it with you as well, I feel like I'm getting over that kind of 1 to 2 week rut I was in, for sure. I feel like I'm back. I'm getting back to it.
I love it, man. Hey, it's the two things you kind of said. It's like, one, just the benefits of just exercise, right? Exercise just to get you out of a rut. But then also it's just like, a little bit of positive affirmation. It's easy to like try and do like keeping up with the Joneses. What is everyone else? Like, oh, well, they have this, they have that, and to kind of fall into that, like, well, I don't have that. And then to get down on yourself. But it's like, man, we all have stuff to be thankful for, right? We just had a conversation last week about, Thanksgiving and thankfulness. So it's like, and it's easy, especially during the holidays, to really fall in that rut. You get close to the New Year's resolutions. Like you said, it's, your birthday's coming up. So it's a lot of things like, it's easy to compare, especially I feel like during like holidays, like, right. You get back together with people you haven't seen in a while, friends, family. And, you know, again, I think it's all about just like what you said, realize like everything that you were able to accomplish, right? Because you don't know someone's looking in at you and going, man, look at all the shit Jared accomplished. I wish I could accomplish half of that. And you're comparing yourself to someone else and so on and so forth. So, I'm happy to hear you're getting out of that rut, man. I know you hold yourself to a super high standard. For those that don't know, Jared's a go-getter, man. And I love that. He pushes me every single day. He pushes me to do this even when I don't want to. So, knowing that he's in a rut, knowing that,
hey, we're all human, we're all human.
Yeah. And I think that you kind of taking the words out of my mouth. It's easy to fall into these, this like kind of negativity, but it's like, picking ourselves up and bringing us out of that rut, getting ourselves, back into like the full swing of things is just as important. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, happy to hear that, man.
Yeah, man. But and I will say, I'm not discrediting. Like I do think like your biggest competition in life should be yourself, right? Like you should be, if you're going to try to outdo anybody, you should definitely try to outdo yourself. But yeah, sometimes it takes that self-love, right? To be like, hey, yeah, this happened, but this also happened, right? Like, yeah, you missed the mark on a couple things, but the fact that you even put yourself in that situation to be in a role where that was a possibility to accomplish that goal or that resolution or overcome that activity or that adversity, that within itself can be a win too, you know. But yeah, man. One of the things I wanted to trial that kind of feeds into this. We're talking about the gym. As corny as it sounds, I'm all about health, men's health, right? I feel like something that, is just super, super important, making sure that we're keeping our mind, our bodies right as best we can. And so Fitness Fridays, Josh. And so we can now something that we dabbled in the last go around. So there's a couple of ways we can swing this, right? We can make it a challenge. We can just make it we're giving each other some flowers, maybe in terms of a fitness goal or accomplishment that you were able to achieve within the last week. But I wanted to bring Fitness Fridays to the floor and see what you think.
Fitness Fridays. Well, as someone who genuinely hates going to the gym and hates exercising and running, this is my nightmare. So
you hate going to the gym? You used to love
I
going to the
hate it.
gym.
No, I know. I've never liked going to the gym. I just want that to be
Really?
known. I like the results. Yeah, I mean, I like the results, but it's just like,
Well, fitness doesn't have to mean going to the gym.
no, I know. It's movement, right? It's movement, but I know, like, personally, I know what I need as someone who, like, I, you know, I wanna get toned. I wanna get, like, the six pack. I wanna have, like, all the muscle definition. So I know for Fitness Friday, for me, I know what that's going to entail, and that's going to be forcing myself to going to the gym. So thank you, Jared, for forcing me to go to the place I like least.
Mm-hmm.
But again, if that's what it takes, I guess that's what it takes. So Fitness Friday. So basically, our challenge is you have to move. Is there?
Do you want to do a challenge? It doesn't have to be a challenge. It can solely be we're just giving praise to ourselves and to our listeners.
Oh, okay.
For
So this
moving
isn't a
their
challenge.
body. It doesn't have to be. I'm always game for a challenge. I'm pretty competitive, so I'm always game for a challenge.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it doesn't have to be a challenge, is what I'm saying.
See, I feel like this is like it doesn't have to be a challenge. And you're kind of looking at me
Some
like,
reverse psychology.
yeah, a little bit. It's like, okay, I guess this is going to be a challenge. No. So, okay. So what are the objectives of this Fitness Friday challenge aside, if we do decide
challenge aside, yeah, just trying to bring awareness to the importance of movement, right? Importance of getting outside when you can, or if you can't get outside, doing something inside, right? It's one of those, if you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, let's try to crawl. Let's try to do something, right? Let's just try to sit up, right? There's a lot of people out there, I've treated them. There's a lot of people where literally their hearts can't handle going from a supine position, meaning lying on their back, to a sitting position. Truly. So, just trying to give praise to those that are moving, and then hopefully some encouragement for those that maybe haven't been able to and are ready to make that change.
I'll tell you what, I know some of our friends, it is a Friday night, or it's a Friday night where I am. And I know some of our friends, even though they can walk and some of them can run, I know in about 3 or 4 hours, they probably will be crawling. So, again, the important thing is movement, and that goes out to all of our dumb friends that are going to probably be, in the next 8 hours, trying to stand and are, destined to just crawl. So good for you guys. I like this though, man. I like this though. So I think, I last time you kind of brought up thankfulness, and I brought up my dog, and thankfully, my dog is a big part of my fitness, right? I told you I don't like the gym. It's not that the gym and I have a bad relationship. It's just, for me, it's like running an errand, right? It's a chore. It's like you have to drive 15 minutes there. It's wintertime. It's cold. I'm also a germaphobe. I know you and I both kind of share that. Like, I think that's probably my biggest thing about the gym is it's just gross. It doesn't, maybe on the surface it's kind of gross, but I've seen people, they're sweating profusely, and
That's me.
I've watched Jared change shirts at least twice. gym, and it is
Sweat, man.
it is as gross as you can imagine. Go in with a light gray and it comes out dark gray. Boy,
Oh
oh, that
man.
is. But anyway, it's gross. So
Is it really a good workout if you're not dripping sweat when you leave? I mean, come on.
what if you don't sweat? I
Be
don't sweat that
honest.
often. Are you just saying I
Yeah,
don't?
which is crazy to
Are
me.
you saying I don't work out hard enough? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I mean, you put that out there.
Oh,
You put that out there,
oh,
brother. So I'm gonna
okay.
let you live with that one.
So anyway, the gym and I really, we don't have a great relationship, but my dog and I do. So we like to hike. Again, it gets you outdoors. It gets me that bonding time, with my dog. And I think the biggest thing is it's just like, again, you're just moving, so outside bonding and then just exercise. So it's a complete package. One of the things, and I don't know if you remember this, Jared, and I know I'm trying not to get off topic, but I think this is important when it comes to hiking.
Yeah.
And I've to this day, I have never found the actual data to back this up, but I believe it is we went to outdoor school. And for those of you who do not know what outdoor school is, when you are in middle school, they ship you to this school in the middle of the woods for a week. You learn about insects and bugs and animals of the forest, and you learn, again, just like survival instincts, and it's awesome. It's a great. I loved
I
it
don't
so much.
remember
Actually,
learning any of that.
I might be making half this up.
I don't remember learning anything.
I don't know
Honestly,
about. Listen, Jared. It's
for
just,
us, it was just one of the first times you had like a sleepaway camp with all your friends.
either okay, that's it. I don't know. But they teach you about environmental stuff, you had to like recycle and you had to make sure you weren't like the less weight in the trash can, the better. And people would just hide all their stuff in the recycling and throw it away anyway, just so that they would make weight. It was a whole lot of fun. All that to say is the principle, I know I'm getting way off topic here. The principle of that outdoor school, I remember he got us all around, and I think we were sitting outside. We were having like an owl watch, so it was pitch black outside. And one of the things he said is the great thing about being outdoors is trees and like greenery give off a certain pheromone, and the purpose of that is to protect itself from like insect or like bug infestation, right? Bugs come and just eat all the trees, the tree dies. So the tree gives off this pheromone that's, again, it's a deterrent for, it's a deterrent for like insects, but it's pleasant for humans. It's actually very beneficial. To this day, I have never found anything that corroborates that statement, but I have lived my life by that. And I tell you what, you get out in nature and even if it's not true, you get some fresh air in your lungs. It smells nice. You don't hear cars. You don't hear, it's therapeutic in a different way. So Fitness Friday for me, I will try and get myself into the gym just because
Okay.
I am now challenging myself. But
What about home workouts? You can always do
hiking,
something at home.
yoga, I would do yoga.
You can do yoga, do some
But
push-ups.
all that to say is for my Fitness Friday, I am going to challenge myself to go on a different hike with my dog every one hike a week, one different hike a week.
No matter the weather.
Weather dependent.
Hey man, real quick, I want to give you a round of applause for your memory. The fact that you even remember that conversation.
Hey, you're welcome.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You're always like, this one time 18 years ago at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday, this one guy told me this and I've never forgotten it. It's like, how the hell do you remember that? That's impressive.
You know what's scary? My long-term memory is fine. It's the short-term that starts. Yeah.
Hey, can't win them all, man. Can't win them
you
all.
walk into a room and you're like, what the hell am I getting from here? And it's like, it's someone else's house. And you're like, oh, this ain't right. Anyway,
All right, man. Well, one new hike a week is good, man.
that long-winded Fitness Friday for me. So Jared, I'm curious to hear, what you're gonna do besides, maybe getting a couple new shirts for this Fitness Friday since you're gonna be working out more.
You sweating through all my shirts.
Yeah.
one thing I haven't actually brought it up already. One thing I am trying to do more of is yoga. And so I'm going to try to do yoga just at home, but do yoga at least twice a week for this upcoming week. Maybe this week too. Still got time. So, but definitely for next week, even if it's just 10 minutes, just a little something. I'm really trying to work on my mobility for long-term health of my joints as I'm trying to get back into running, recovering from this knee injury. So yeah, man, for me, I think yoga twice a week, no matter how short, if it's 10 minutes, if it's an hour, just something, and trying to build those habits. So those atomic habits.
I think yoga and just stretching in general. Like I remember I've coached lacrosse. This goes back from coaching. This also goes back to like when we were playing sports. I just remember like stretching was like something, especially as a kid. I just remember people like, you're stretching. What the hell's wrong with you? It's like, and even like I again coaching high school, these kids, I'd be like, you got to stretch, and they're like, why? Stretching stupid, dude. The older I get, it's like it is so important. I mean, again, this is right up your alley. So you can concur, you can refute what I'm saying, but stretching is just so important. It's like, man, it's like things like yoga, doing yoga regularly, just stretching before like you do like any sort of like exercising, like you just feel so much better. You don't feel tight. You don't feel that like you might feel a little sore still after, but like you just feel better after. Like it's something to be said for that.
I think it's the secret, man. I think it's the secret weapon to longevity is your mobility. So for sure, it's super important working on not just muscle, but also joint and your nervous system, improving all of that mobility through various forms of stretching and exercise is about as powerful as it gets, truly. Yeah,
all right. So do you know the difference between like yoga and Pilates? I've been trying. So my coworkers are very big on Pilates, and I still don't. I know it's like something about the core, but it's somehow different. I think it's somehow different than yoga, but it does something similar. Do you know anything about the difference?
Only a little bit through the patients I've treated. I've never tried Pilates myself yet. I want to. I definitely want to just kind of have that muscle memory of what a Pilates session feels like. But the very general scope that I would say is with Pilates. And the tough part about this is there's different types of Pilates and there's different types of yoga. So I'll let me preface that first. But I would say the biggest thing is that Pilates tends to be a little, probably your more stereotypical Pilates, from what I've been told, steers more towards the direction of strength training through smaller movements and repetitive movements, where and a lot of body weight specific. And then you have the Pilates where you can use a reformer, which provides like a resistance through almost like bungee cord type resistance there. Okay. And your more stereotypical yoga, again, there's a lot of different forms of yoga, but your more stereotypical form is going to prioritize stretching through different poses that you're going to hold over various lengths of time. Now, through a lot of yoga, you're also working on some stability and some strength, but that's when you can kind of get into the weeds. There's definitely, in my opinion, a lot that overlaps between the two. It's just whether or not you're using a reformer for Pilates or you're doing like matted on the ground Pilates. Okay. Yeah, and then I've heard recently, I've been learning more and more this past year. I've had multiple patients that do a form of Pilates called Legree. Have you ever heard of that?
I have not.
So apparently all my patients are like, dude, you got to do it. Like, imagine a bar class. It's like doing a bar class, which I've done one of those before. So it's like all what my patients have told me is imagine doing a bar class, but with a more of a Pilates spin to it. And they just all communicate how challenging it is. They're like, you want to walk out of there with your legs on fire, then do a Legree class. So it's on my list. It's on my list for 2026 for sure, is to do at least one, just to dip my toe in the water there.
So what I'd love, if anyone out there is listening who has done this, let us know. I'm curious. I'm fascinated by all these new, and I don't want to call them like fads, because that's probably wrong. Because there is definitely like fad yoga. You've got like the goat yoga. So I'm curious if this is, maybe it is a fad. I'm curious to know, is this like something, is this sticking around? Is this another like, adding to like something to add to the repertoire? Or is it just something that's, it's the latest thing on TikTok and it's gonna come and go. So if you've done it, would love to hear about it. Speaking of fad yoga, the curiosity got the best of me, and I had to look up like what are some of like the newest trends. And I'm sure you've heard of like goat yoga. So you're doing the poses, and these little cute little baby goats are hopping all over you, which I think is adorable. I've seen some other things like puppy yoga, same thing. You're doing all these poses, these puppies are just crawling on top of you. It's adorable. A couple things I just looked up is snake yoga, which is another one. So basically, they drape snakes
Snake.
around you.
Fuck that, bro. Nope.
Not a snake guy, huh, Jared?
No.
Hey,
No.
face your fears, man. Face your
That's
fears. You
ridiculous.
said you want to do yoga.
What's the point of that?
I think the point is, I think they're saying it's like the movement of the snake is very fluid. So you're trying to, you're almost trying to mimic the snake. Again, never done snake yoga. I'd try anything once. I would definitely try snake yoga. I think it's all a gimmick. Now
My thing is, you can't control the way another animal is going to respond, right? And so you have no idea. I don't care how trained any animal is. You don't know.
Yourself like a snake, Jared?
Well, so you can't control how it's going to react, right? Like no matter how trained it is, this could be any animal. It could be a dog, a cat.
Okay.
It could be anything, right? And so who knows? Especially, let's say you're doing yoga, you're doing a pose that's challenging, or you just slip, right? Like if you've ever done hot yoga is so hard because you end up sweating so much, which makes you lose your grip. So then you end up working harder, which makes you just sweat even more. It's like a vicious cycle you put yourself through. And so I can just imagine you slip or you stumble and your body makes a quick movement. And then what ends up happening is the snake gets scared and bites you, tries to suffocate you. Like, nah, man, I don't get it. I don't get it. Not saying I wouldn't try it, but I would hate every second of it. I would hate every second of that. No, thank you.
Well, add that to the bucket list, Jared. One day, snake
maybe.
yoga. Yeah,
maybe. Any other fads that you found, or was snake yoga the main one?
It's just like, I feel like people just I think what they do is they take a dartboard, they add a bunch of random shit to it, and they throw a couple darts at it and say, okay, today we're going to do, espresso martini yoga. And it's just like, all right, doesn't sound so bad there, does it? Like I saw like a beer yoga, and like you drink a beer mid pose, again, maybe, what is it? Vasodilation happens and it relaxes you more. I don't know.
That's a stretch.
Again, I don't know. I think a lot of these fad yoga things, I think it's more just to like, it's more for the Instagram. It's like, oh, look what I did today, Yeah. So anyway, Jared, all that to say is we should just make up some stupid yoga and see if it catches fire. I would love that.
Probably will.
I would love that. So
it probably will, man.
If anybody wants to do some crazy yoga that, skydiving yoga, you've only got 2 minutes to do it, but I don't know. I don't know, Jared.
Skydiving so bad. Oh man.
Same.
So bad. But yeah, man. One thing I was gonna bring up, I don't know if you saw this happen today. I know we were kind of briefly chatting about some different things to chat about or talk about, but Netflix bought Warner Brothers for $82 billion.
So I do want to caveat this as someone who is in the M&A space.
Yeah, let us know. Educate us.
So there is a difference between they're acquiring them. They still have to go through all sorts of like regulatory approval. So there's still obstacles, right? The deal is not closed. It's like essentially signed. So you sign a deal, and then you've got all these like legal stipulations that you have, that have to close out. And then once the deal, so it'll probably take, I would imagine, a deal of this size, because again, there's going to be a lot of scrutiny from like a regulation standpoint. Is this a monopoly? I mean, it's essentially acquiring, HBO. Like,
it's crazy
acquiring HBO Max. Like, yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily a monopoly, but like there's going to be a lot of hurdles that they have to overcome. obviously Netflix has deep pockets. So I'm really curious to see this. Yeah, I'm really glad you brought this up. I know we were talking about like financial, like we wanted to kind of get into like talking about like financial Friday. So it's funny that this kind of came up.
Yeah.
So again, this is huge. You're talking about HBO, which has been a staple for decades, right? And Netflix, obviously, Netflix has been around for decades now too, but Netflix was like the laughing stock of like Hollywood. You got this little company where it's, hey, we do mail-in DVDs. People probably listening don't even remember that, but Netflix was a mail-in your DVDs. You get one, you exchange.
Yeah, first of its kind.
It was iconic. It was kind of like, yeah, but no one ever thought anything. This isn't going to overtake Blockbuster. There was actually Blockbuster. They actually went to Blockbuster and said, "Hey, buy us out." Blockbuster said this will never catch. So what happened? Netflix caught. So Blockbuster scrambled, tried to do something similar, tried to make their own, try to do their own thing. At that point, Netflix had already caught like wildfire. So it's just funny. You see these. You never know what's going to catch and what isn't, and now Netflix is Netflix, it's for a while it was considered I think it was the Magnificent Seven or before it was, before, what was it called?
And I've never heard that before. What does that mean?
There's like an acronym for like the 6 or 7 biggest, basically, biggest companies per market cap. So it's like what, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, I think Nvidia's in there now because they're the Magnificent Seven. There was Fang. I'm sorry, Fang. It's a Fang company. So that was Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. That was Fang. But now it's crossed over to the Magnificent Seven. So these are the 7 biggest per market cap. Like basically they're holding up like the S&P. Like you see, how much they've grown in the past year. And you've seen basically everyone else is lagging. You've got, these 7 that are really just like.
Well, what's interesting is that I felt like what was really interesting in the last year, maybe 2 years, it seemed like HBO Max, who then changed their name really to just Max, was acquiring all these shows all of a sudden. And it was like, man, they're just like show after show after show that they're acquiring. And I wonder if they did that just to make their stock price go up, knowing that they were going to then try to just sell. Like the owner, whoever is at the creme de la creme of of Max was probably just trying to make their, just like how you make renovations to a house before you sell it, right? You're trying to increase the value of your of whatever it is before you sell. So I'm wondering if that was a premeditated way to do that. Would not be surprised one bit. And I also wonder how that's going to work. Will Max still be its own streaming service, or will they just merge with Netflix at that point? Or will it be like a bundle like you have with ESPN and Hulu and like Disney Plus? Will they just start to bundle it? And that's been the funny thing that, you read some of the comments online, and of course in the short term, that's what everybody's worried about. They're like, okay, great. Well, Netflix has to pay for this somehow, right? So everybody's monthly bill is about to get skyrocketed, most likely. And
it's already high, it's
already like, it already goes up every 2 years. They increase the price already. So this is just going to be another one that's probably going to go up to who knows how much, man. With all that, if they're selling, well, you have access to so much more now through one platform. Or they'll probably either do a bundle deal with Max, or it's like hey, if you want to pay for just this service and have all that access, $45-$50 a month, probably, I would imagine, to try to recoup that $82 billion. But
I imagine it is going to be more of like an ESPN, Hulu, Disney, like, because there's a lot of value in the HBO name, right? So
for sure, it's been around forever, yeah.
Right. I can't imagine they do away with that.
Well, in that way, if you're Netflix, you say, hey, let's do it as a bundle. That way, you're going to make more money that way.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
You're going to make more money. You're not, because if you try to make it all one, well, what if you have people that don't want to convert over to Netflix? Well, you're going to lose out on that population. So, yeah, it makes more sense definitely to bundle it. That's for sure. But crazy, man, crazy world. It's crazy that there's that much money Like, and I know it's not like they're writing a check for 82 billion, but it's just crazy that these companies have that much money that they can throw around and negotiate with. It's just wild to me. Oh
I
my
mean,
goodness.
you're talking, again, I think they say like, oh, gosh, like $1 million is equivalent. Like if you were to convert like $1 million to seconds, like is like the equivalent of like 12 minutes, right? $1 million, 12 minutes.
Dang.
$1 billion is the equivalent of like 37 years or something along that. So it's like, you don't really, you just see, oh, a million billions. The difference is a couple zeros and, a letter, right? But it's like when you put it into perspective of like time and how much it would take to like accumulate $1 million versus $1 billion. I mean, that's absurd, Jared. Like you're
It
talking
is.
minutes versus years,
And then you put an 82 in front of that, bruh.
Yeah. And that it gets even crazier then when you start getting into the trillions. Like you've got Tesla approving $1 trillion package for Elon Musk.
It's crazy.
No person is obviously worth no person is worth that much, right? Absolutely not.
I guess a lot of people beg to differ. A lot of people. Elon's gonna disagree with you. He's gonna say he's worth more than that. Probably that's what they settled on. But what's crazy to me is, okay, you buy it for 82 billion. I can't even imagine. I can't fathom what they expect the long-term profit to be, and to be so confident in the fact that the tech space is evolving so quickly, so rapidly that who even like, I feel like your average person doesn't know what the platform is going to be for people to access entertainment 20 years from now.
Oh, who knows? Yeah.
Exactly.
How can you even try and start trying to like,
but that's where Netflix has to be so confident that they are not going to eventually no longer be able to adapt to the advances in technology, that they feel like, over the course of probably 60 years or so, they're going to be able to make this money up. I would imagine they're thinking this is like a 60, this is a multi-generational lifespan that they're going to, have to recoup this money, I would imagine.
I'm really curious. I mean, obviously AI is a hot ticket item, and everyone's talking about it. Everyone's trying to jump aboard the ship, and as it sails away. It's like you're already starting to see like in music, these people, it's like AI music. Like I've already seen bands that is just purely AI. Like I thought that was crazy.
Very good too. Like some of the stuff is scary good.
It's like, wait a second, it sounds like real people. The music, the words.
It looks like real people. Some of these are music videos, man. They're AI music videos people are creating. It's crazy.
It's a matter of time. I mean, they've already got videos that's just purely AI. It's just like you see like, someone of power talking and you're like, holy shit, he said that. And then like you have to go to the comments where like, this is AI. It's like,
yeah,
oh fuck. Like we are doomed. Because like most people, let's be honest, Jared, 95% of people probably wouldn't understand that and be like, oh yeah, they said that.
They just assume it. Yeah, for sure.
So it's like as a society, we're doomed. And this is, I mean, I don't want to say these are the early years. AI's been around for like what they did like an AI movie with Robin Williams, 20 years ago. So it's AI. This isn't like a new thing. AI is where like quantum is now, So quantum is still like very early stages. In 20 years, it'll be like, oh shit, like, quantum's in everything. Quantum's ingrained in all of our, day-to-day lives. So it's just, I don't know. AI, man, it's gonna destroy us.
Well, that got dark fast, bro.
Yeah. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, guys.
Dark really fast.
Sorry, guys. I felt like there was too much energy in the room, and too much happiness. I just had to suck that energy out.
There you go. And one thing I did want to chat about today, you and I both being soccer fans, I'm going to share.
I like how you transitioned to something a little lighter.
I really want to chat about the group stages for the upcoming World Cup getting
Oh boy.
released. Yeah. Can you see the screen well, or do I need to zoom in?
Can you get the actual like groups? I mean, this is like the schedule. Is it possible to like
This is the group. So this is all of Group A. You want
what
to
I'm
just in
saying
like
is
the list
like a
format, you're
list.
saying?
Yeah, yes. Is that possible?
Let's see.
You probably do
Uh,
standings. I'd imagine standings would have it.
yeah.
There it is. So there's only 3
Yeah.
teams in these groups?
Well, the fourth for each group is like the
Wow.
play. They have to do a play-in game to get in
Okay.
for most
So
of them. So like
for
these are the
those of
confirmed ones, and then like Group A, Group B, Group D, where the U.S. is. There will be a fourth team, but they have a play-in game.
so
But
for
let's
those of you who
start.
don't know, Jared is a big soccer fan. Jared,
I'm not super. I will say this. I don't watch a lot of soccer.
you don't.
I'm a big type where I have to have a team in that sport that I'm super passionate about to follow it as closely as I do the sports where I do have a team I'm super passionate about. So like
Yeah,
soccer wise, right? Like I love
you're always telling me about like,
well, I love soccer, right? We both grew up playing soccer our whole lives. It is my favorite sport, hands down. But I primarily at this point only follow the international stuff. I don't have a team like internationally. I don't have a reason to have a team in the English Premier League or the Serie A league or the Bundesliga. Like I do, there's no emotional attachment there yet. Maybe if I go to a game in person one day, I'll be like, this was an amazing experience. This will be my team. But I can't deep in my heart just be like, oh, I'm just going to pick this team for literally no reason or because they're good. Like there has to be an emotional attachment. And because I don't have that, I don't watch a lot of club soccer in the European leagues. And then in the MLS, you know, 99% of my life, the closest team being DC United, not trying to have them catch any strays here, but they've been garbage, right? So they've been terrible our entire life, pretty much, except for a couple years where they had Freddie, and then a couple years where they had
Already at
Rooney,
two, man, that is a pool.
right? And then they had
Man,
Rooney. Rooney actually had them slightly competitive for a couple of years there. Wayne Rooney coming, trying to surge his career or extend his career. But yeah, so like I'll follow DC United, but I can't emotionally put in hours of staying up to date on them when they lose 80 to 90% of their games every single year. Like that's tough, man. That's tough to do. I don't got the time or energy for that. But yeah, so so here's what we're looking at, man. We're looking at Group A, and I want you, without knowing who the fourth team is, right? Because the fourth team isn't a guaranteed slot. So if we're looking at FIFA rankings, they would typically be lower in the rankings most likely because they haven't been winning their qualifying matches. So they're most likely a lower ranked team anyway. What I want to hear from you is if you had to, we're going to make some way too early predictions of the team you expect to be on top. So 2 teams from each group, I think, make it out to the single elimination stage. But
we're not going through every single group, are we?
we're gonna go. There's not that many groups, Josh.
How
We're
many
gonna go through every single group. It doesn't have to be fat. I mean, it doesn't have to be a thought out answer. Just a real quick Group A, right? We got South Korea, we got Mexico, we got South Africa. Which team do you expect to win that group?
I'm gonna go out of those 3, Mexico.
Mexico. Okay, I agree with that. Don't
Okay.
sleep on South Korea.
I was gonna
But
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say if we had to pick 2, I was gonna say South Korea second. But yeah, Mexico in that one.
all right, Group B is so far as Canada, Qatar, and Switzerland.
I'm going Qatar.
I am too, actually. I thought you were gonna say Canada because I know they're the more popular name, but Qatar's
Yeah.
actually been on a heater
I was
recently.
yeah. I don't follow soccer closely at all, but like I do like to at least check scores and you know, I think we just either tied or lost to them in a friendly, I believe. Cuz
Yeah, I
they
can't remember.
cuz I think they played whatever North America, whatever
Was that our men's league, adult league, or was that the like U17, U20 team?
that just goes to show you how little I know about soccer. I truly have no idea.
I think they did play recently, but I can't remember if that was our U or it might have been both.
Yeah. I think in the next one, I mean, it's hard to not go with Brazil. Just the
Man,
talent there.
that kid they have. Oh my
It's hard not
god.
to go with Brazil.
Brazil, yeah. Yeah. Anybody else in that would be like a major upset.
Right.
So Brazil kind of guy. Not saying they're I'm not trying to hate on Haiti or Morocco or Scotland, but I feel like Brazil kind of got lucky there.
That's a pretty easy group if I'm being
Oh,
honest.
dang. Okay, Group D. All right. We got Australia, we got Paraguay, and we got USA.
Is it treason to go against the USA in this one?
I mean, they've had some ups and downs, but they've
Yeah.
recently been looking pretty good. Recently, they've actually looked pretty promising.
You know what's
Against
crazy?
lesser talent, but you know,
You know what's crazy? Paraguay is a tiny, tiny little nation,
right?
and we have what 350 million, and it's like they're competitive. You know, they
Yeah,
are competitive with us. Uh,
yeah.
I
What's alarming is the fact that if the U.S. wasn't one of the host nations, there was for a little bit there was concern that they weren't even going to qualify.
the U.S.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
yeah, that's we just threw a bunch of money and said like, hey, we'll buy our own invitation to
yeah,
the World Cup,
pretty
essentially.
much, pretty much.
So Paraguay has a population of a little over 7 million.
Dang,
That's smaller than a lot of the major cities in the USA.
that's
That's
crazy.
crazy. That's go
That's crazy.
USA.
So who are you picking? Who are you picking out of those three?
What I feel like I've been picking. I picked a lot of the first ones. Why don't you say who you want?
I mean, I'm gonna go U.S. Man. I'm gonna go
Okay,
U.S. You know,
you going with the home team, huh?
gonna go with the home squad. I like a lot of the U.S. players. The issue the U.S. team is gonna have is that in a lot of these friendlies that they've been doing, they haven't had probably 5 of the guys who would typically start out there. And so, but the guys that have been out there have been actually doing really well. But the issue is going to be, can those other guys come in who need to start? Like you can't not
Right.
start them. But are they going to mesh well enough? And you know, I don't know any of these people. So, but are they going to mesh well enough? Or you know, hopefully there's no egos about you know, anybody trying to be the guy out there. And hopefully they can play well with one another. What I heard a rumor for,
Uh-oh.
I know, right? Rumor mill. 2027, I think the MLS, which this will help, I think the US in terms of making sure they can always have the right guys out there on the field. But the MLS is going to switch to, they've already been trialing this, I think, with adding like the club being a part of like the FIFA Club World Cup and stuff over these last few years. But the MLS, I think, is going to switch to the schedule that the European leagues do. So they'll be playing at the same time of year as the European leagues, to have a better congruency of when it comes to players getting pulled. I think this is to have better congruency for when players need to get pulled up for international games.
Okay. We'll see how
Yeah,
that pans out. Yeah.
yeah. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited for that. I'm excited
So
for
it's
that for sure.
one of the things that I'm hearing though, it sounds like USA at least has depth, right? If you're talking about we've got starters out, but we've got the subs in that are doing just fine. Like that's good.
Relatively speaking, right?
Yeah.
They're not playing the best of the best. They're not playing the top 10 teams, but in these friendlies. But yeah, they look good against the opponents that they're going up against. And what I like better than just seeing the win and loss, right? The goals scored from the games that I have been able to watch, or the highlights if I don't get a chance to catch the game. Being on the West Coast with the time difference and everything can be rough to catch some of these games. But the heart they play with is different. It seems different. Now, I feel like I've said this in the past, but it seems different where the guys that are out there right now are playing with grit. They're running through the ball, right? They're running through the opponent to get to the ball. They're playing with a certain level of, most of them are playing with a certain level of fire that I feel like the U.S. has been lacking for a while. Now, I'm just a fan who sits on the couch watching these games, right? I can never play.
Would you call yourself an armchair analysis? An armchair analyst?
Armchair analyst. Yeah, I would. You know, I would say that, you know, clearly I am nowhere near and never would be at the level of these guys. But relatively speaking, right? I feel like that there is just there's a different level of competitiveness in that. I keep using that word grit that I see out there that I haven't seen in the past and in past like recent years. And I feel like that's something, I don't know about you, man, but I just don't think that's something you can teach. Like whether or not somebody has that dog in them, you know what I mean? Like when push comes to shove, even if I fail, I know I'm going to do everything in my power. If it's me versus you, I'm going to do everything in my power to whoop that ass.
Right.
It's not,
Some people might call that what, heart?
Yeah, just having that type of heart, like that type of like, let's just go. Like, let's see what happens. I might fail, but if I fail, I'm gonna fail forward because I'm gonna give it everything I got. And you just don't know. Like, you have guys that are super, super talented at any sport, guys and girls at any sport, and that's just not always something you can teach, you know.
Yeah. And hey, not only that, but just like home field advantage is going to play a part in this too.
I don't think we're gonna have that big a home. It depends on where the U.S. ends up playing. If they pick the U.S. to play, yeah, man, I think that's one thing that's gonna be surprisingly not as strong as people might realize. I think other countries are gonna travel better than us.
We'll see. We
got to remember. So we're not the only host nation, right? You have Canada and you also have Mexico. And then just, that's one of the benefits outside of this type of competition that we have in the U.S. We're an extremely diverse country. And so, and with the state of the U.S., I'm not going to get political on here, but with the state of the U.S., I think you have a lot of people that probably just don't like the U.S. as a whole right now anyway. But then we're also, we're just super diverse, man. We have so many people from other countries that live here. And you're definitely going to have people that travel. So we'll see.
But aren't people scared of the U.S.? Aren't people are like, because again, if you not to get political, but
I think it depends. It might depend on where they're coming from. Yeah, it might depend on where they're coming from. Sure. Oh man, we don't need to do any of that. Come on, man. Come on now. Come on.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying, people are scared.
Yeah. Understandably so. All right, we got Group E, man. I'm excited for this one. You got Curacao. I think this is their first time ever being in a World Cup. I hope I'm not wrong. No disrespect to them, but I'm pretty sure this is the first time they've ever been in the World Cup. So I think it seems like they are one of the countries right now that's going to kind of be like you're hoping for like a Cinderella story, right? Now, they have Ecuador in their group, who Ecuador's been – there was a period where Ecuador was pretty dangerous. I don't know how good they've been recently, but then of course you have Germany that's always a contender, and you have the Ivory Coast that hasn't been that good in a long time ever since Drogba stopped playing. But who do you got out of this group going number one, Josh?
It's hard to overlook Germany. I mean,
Germany's good, man.
You know what I mean? It's like again, it's like when you have Brazil, you've got your staples. You've got Germany, Brazil, Argentina. It's hard to kind of select really anyone.
France.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, I hear you. But you know what? I'm throwing all logic out the window. Ooh. I'm going Curacao, man.
Oh boy, you're
one. Number one, man.
Even Goliath story, man. Okay.
That's right. To be the best, you got to beat the best, baby. Let's go. Go. All right, Group F.
There's some money on that. You'll have a nice little payout.
maybe. I'm not usually a betting man, but maybe I will. All right.
Netherlands.
We have more groups. There's more groups than I thought too, by the way. So
this is a lot. Yeah, this is a lot. We're taking up a lot of time talking.
I hope you guys like soccer. Group F.
Also, let's so in Group F we've got Japan, Netherlands, and Tunisia.
Yep.
I think Japan often gets overlooked a lot. Netherlands are obviously the Dutch. The Dutch are good.
Tunisia. This might be another country where this might be one of their first times, or at least their first time in a long time, I think, being in the World Cup, by the way.
Yeah. Oh man, dude, it's just so hard to overlook the European teams. They're just so much better than everyone else. Wasn't it the last World Cup where the basically the Final Four were all European teams?
Probably. I don't know.
I think it was. It was just absurd. It was like, it was basically like a European, or what do they call it? Like the Euro Cup.
Yeah.
So I'll probably have to go Netherlands. I mean, Japan, I think, is a strong contender, but I think Netherlands. I think honestly, I think you'll see an upset win or an upset loss from Netherlands, but they'll still make it through, and then they'll do just fine.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go Japan, man. I think Japan's always just solid. They're just like a solid team, you know. So they got a pretty good pool this time. I feel like a lot of times they get gypped and they get put in the tougher ones, and so I feel like it's winnable for sure. Definitely winnable. It's gonna come down to like 1 point differential probably, or like goals for and against or something like that. All right, man. Man, do you remember when Belgium was hot? They were like
they beat us. They were young and they were hungry. So let's just tell the people who's in Group G that they can't see this. So it's Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand. So obviously Belgium, again, they were young. They were young for like you were talking about when they were hot. They were young, and people said like, all right, hey, they lost. I don't know, probably in the quarterfinals, and they're going to be really hot for the next like 8 years. And I don't think they really did much. I mean, they didn't do bad, but I don't think they lived up to their expectations.
Yeah,
I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But all that to say is, I'll probably still go Belgium.
Yeah, me too. That's easy one.
Okay, this is an interesting one.
Okay.
This is a fun one. So okay, so you wanna list them off, Jared?
Sure. Yeah, we got Cape Verde, we got Saudi Arabia, we got Spain, and Uruguay.
All right. So I'm gonna say it wrong. Uruguay.
Yep.
Uruguay, if you're American like me. Spain. Man.
Dude, we just put a mollywop on Uruguay, by the way. And that was with not our starters. Yes. I think that was the game where we won like 4-0.
Okay. You know what?
This was like a month ago, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, we won 5-1 and 3 weeks ago.
They
beat us. They beat us in Copa America. They beat us back in that was July of 2024. So that's too long ago. That doesn't count anymore. That doesn't matter.
So who are you going with?
Let's see. I'm gonna go with Spain, of course. Now, Cape Verde, I think this is another one. I'm pretty sure this is another group. I know there's been a lot so far already, too. This might be their very first. World Cup. They're an African nation. I want them to succeed so badly. That would be such a fun story. But to pick who's going to go number one, we're going to go with logic here. We got to go Spain, man.
Okay, so this time logic succeeds.
Is it Spain? Is it? Oh, I had it mixed up. I misspoke earlier. It's Spain that has that really young kid who is on Barcelona, who is an animal. He's like 17, and he is probably one of the top 5 best players maybe top 10 best players in the world. Like,
that's absurd.
What's his name?
You got to think if he's got longevity like a Messi or Ronaldo.
Oh, he does
playing in their 30s. I mean,
because he stays healthy. He's healthier than Neymar. Neymar's biggest thing, right, is that he always gets injured, and so unfortunately his career has been really hindered. He's still extremely talented, still one of the best, but even injured. But unfortunately, I think a lot of his injuries end up hindering his career and the ability to put up a lot of stats and really help Brazil succeed. But yeah, what is this kid? Oh man, I think he's on Barcelona soccer team. Kid. Okay, his last name is Yamal. I don't know how to pronounce his first name, but Yamal, yeah, he is just an animal. He was born in 2007, bro. 2007. That's crazy. Yikes. But he's a beast, man. He was playing for Spain, I think, when he was like 16 or 17. So it's just wild. Okay, next one. Okay, another easy one. Although Norway does have a beast on their team. So this is Group I. We have France, we have Norway, we have Senegal, and we're going to wait and see who the 4th team is that gets in from a play-in match. Norway has a beast. That guy, Holland or whatever. Do you know who I'm talking about?
long blonde hair, looks like a Viking.
Yeah, he's an animal. I mean, he is like a freaking
He's also,
animal.
isn't he like, he's like 6'4", 6'5"? Like
He's a tall dude.
he's a beast. Like, yeah.
Yeah, he's a tall dude and he's fast, he's physical, he's quick. He's a beast, but unfortunately, I don't know much about Norway's team, but I don't think they have the firepower that France has, right? France is like,
France is just they're just stacked, dude.
yeah, they're
They're
expected to
so
win it
stacked.
all. So yeah, they're France. So you got to go with France again. Maybe Senegal will do something interesting, but I think France is going to take that one. All right, Group J, we got Algeria, Argentina, Austria, and Jordan. Algeria will put up a fight, but I think Argentina obviously.
Yeah.
You
I think this is going to be an easier group.
Yeah.
I really do. But yeah, I'm going Argentina too.
And that's going to really favor Argentina going into the knockout round because most of these games they'll probably be able to take out a good chunk of starters in the second half, like early, if they're up already by a few goals. You have a lot of guys who won't have to play that much. So like a Messi, who's much older and I think he's retired like 5 different times now, but Messi, who's much older,
yeah,
doesn't have to play as much in the group stage, then you can save his legs,
Yeah. And I think honestly, even if these guys aren't playing, like I'm shocked to see you just want like them there just as like a symbol of your nation, right? You want like
that's who the people want to see, man.
Even if like I think I read like Ronaldo played like half of like a match, like they took him out halfway through. He's not. I mean, at this point, like they're not going to be as quick as a lot of these young guys, right?
Yeah.
Sure, their moves aren't going to change, but they're just not going to be as quick. They are there. They are the face of their team. They're the face of their nation. Like having them there is going to give their people hope. It's going to give these young guys hope. You know what I mean? That's what you want. You want butts in seat, right? You want like them bringing people. You want them bringing the crowd. You want them bringing the, that crowd energy and just so. Yeah.
What's tough about that is like you always want that, right? Like everything you just mentioned, and everybody loves to see like Messi and Ronaldo, right? They right now are still a lot of people's 1 and 2, and depending on who you ask, that's going to change on who's number 1 and who's number 2. And it's always this tough balance of you never want to stop getting a chance to watch them play, but you also don't want to see them play to the point where it's like, guys, don't be out there anymore.
Oh, you're saying throwing the towel before it gets ugly, before it's like, oh, they're kind of washed up. It's like
isn't that kind of what
happened with
Ronaldinho? Isn't that what happened with Ronaldinho? Like he was still trying to play at times, and he every now and then still had some of his fancy moves, but you were just like, it was obvious he probably shouldn't be out there. You know what I mean? Like, so you never want them to get to that point. Like it's because you want to be selfish as a fan. You want to be selfish and be like, never stop, because watching you play is it's like art. Truly, it's phenomenal. But at the same time, I also don't want to see you out there when it's very clear to everybody you should no longer be out there. Yeah, it's a tough balance. But all right, man, who we got in Group K? We're almost there. Second to last group.
Group K. I think this is tough. Portugal, Colombia. I'll probably go Portugal just because I seem to be favoring the European teams.
That's another one, dude. Portugal has depth, and then of course they got Ronaldo. They got Ronaldo, but don't sleep on Colombia. That's for sure.
No. That's why that's why I said I think this is a little bit of a toss-up, but just because I'm favoring European teams, I'm going Portugal.
Okay, and then last but not least, Group L. We have Croatia, England, Ghana, and Panama.
Ghana always puts up a fight, man.
Ghana is physical and fast. They're always very physical and very fast. Their skill work usually isn't there comparatively, but yeah, for sure.
I think this is a tough one. I mean, I'll probably choose Croatia, but like,
okay. I thought you were gonna say England. Yeah.
Nah. Okay. I think I'm gonna go Croatia, but like, and I have no basis. I have no basis for why I'm choosing Croatia.
Yeah, Croatia. I don't know how good they are either. They're always competitive, but I think a couple of their main guys have retired. But I'll go England. England's good, man. Like they'll definitely get out of the group stage. It'd be crazy if they didn't. But this is going to be. I agree. I think this group is probably collectively the most evenly matched group.
Anyone could win, and I'd be like, Yeah, this is going to be these are going to be fun matches to watch.
Yeah, there could be one or two upsets in this group stage for sure, for sure.
Yeah,
All right.
I think you'll see like this will be like it could be anyone to like take the top spot from this group.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, man. Very cool.
well,
Very cool.
we went through. I know you said there wasn't a lot of groups, Jared, but it sure felt like it. It sure felt like it.
Oh man. Well, last but not least, the only other thing I wanted to give a shout out to is because two of my local colleges get to play each other. We have University of Washington men's soccer team gets to play University of Maryland men's soccer team. When do they play? Is it today, Josh, that they play? Do you know?
Like
You
I
have no
said,
idea.
not much of a soccer guy, but we can go with today. And if you're listening, who knows what day it is that you're listening? So it's
So what,
probably
what
already happened.
Well, what makes this interesting, University of Washington has been playing really, really well. Let me pull up NCAA. University of Washington has been playing really, really well. The women's team, of course, they had a really special story. They had a woman on the team passed away due to a battle with cancer, I believe. And the women's team made it really, really far. Again, I think further than they were expected to go significantly. I think they made it to the quarterfinals of the national championship. So that's a huge, huge thing for them. And then the men's team is still out there, still crushing it. And they go up against the powerhouse that is University of Maryland. Getting that pulled up now.
Go Terps, baby.
And let's see, when do they play? What's today? The 5th. They play tomorrow. They play tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And so these teams have already played once because they're in the same division too, right? They're in the same conference. They're both in the Big Ten. So they're already familiar with each other. And Maryland just barely won that game, 1-0. So that's going to be a really, really fun matchup, man. And whoever wins that, I believe, goes to the semifinals.
Hey, and again, man, playoffs, it's a whole new season. So
for sure.
For
sure. And momentum carries.
Historical results, that's for sure.
Yeah. And momentum carries, man. Like it's a dangerous thing in sports. It's one of those things that you can't really quantify, I feel like, ever, but is very, very real. So I gotta go with Maryland. That's my hometown squad right there. So I'll respect to UW and I hope they put up a good fight. But I gotta go with my Terps.
Yeah. I feel like you see a lot of like this, like Cinderella stories in basketball, right? These like teams that are like, again, in the sweet in the, March Madness. Exactly. But they're like, 13th ranked. You've probably never heard of them. All of a sudden now they're making their way towards the Final Four. Like they're barreling towards the Final Four. They've dismantled some of these powerhouses and you just can't help but like, man, they've got the whole nation behind them, right? Everyone loves a good, like, David and Goliath. Everyone loves a good underdog story. So it's it really does, again, momentum and just like it is
real thing, man.
It is.
Well, hey man, I love the fact that we trialed 2 different segments today. We trialed Financial Fridays for like a hot second and Fitness Fridays. Now we kind of dabbled on Financial Fridays. I do want to touch base on that. I am definitely in a finance. I'm obsessed with finance. We've met, I think you and I are similar, and part of what sparked us doing this whole podcast is that you and I both are kind of serial hobbyists, where we find something, we love it, we really fall in love with it, and then we might move away from it for a little bit, but then we eventually usually do go back. Especially you with like your woodworking, right? I know that's a big passion of yours. Finance is definitely one of those things right now, and trying to build a financial future for my future family is something that I'm borderline obsessed with at the moment. And so I'd be curious, how could we expand on doing a Financial Fridays where we talk about what's going on in the market, like we kind of did with Netflix and Warner Brothers, or make any goals or challenges for one another to meet certain goals. Now, it might not be something that we want to do weekly or monthly. Might be kind of hard. I feel like a lot of things in finance are all about patience, right? So a lot of things take time to build, but
I think it could be. I mean, I think it could take on a lot of different forms, right? If we're talking about Financial Friday, We could be talking about, major acquisitions that happened in the market. We could be talking about just like the political, the current climate, like politically, how that's affecting the economy. Like, because again, there's very real things, with like interest rates potentially being lowered by the Fed. Like, there's a lot of things we could talk about. I don't think we should pigeonhole ourselves, but I think if something unique comes up, I think we should talk about what's current, but I think we should also maybe try and, I know you read a lot of like, self-improvement books. So I'm sure like, you've probably read something that a great tip that we can all, put into practice in our daily lives, to better our financial health. So
When you work in finance, brother.
And I work in finance, so I can pretend like I know what I'm talking. I can pretend like I know what I'm talking about. So,
hey man, you've been faking it till you make it with your job for a while now.
I've been doing this. I've been doing it since I was 18 years old, man. Oh man. So yeah, hey, again, I'm still shocked. I am still shocked. This is episode 2. We are rounding out episode 2, and we have not touched on our favorite subject. It's going to happen eventually.
You're right.
It's going to happen eventually.
Eventually, we got to give people what they want.
We just got to give people what they want, and that is conspiracy theories. And you might even hear a couple of ghost adventures from old Josh over here. I got a couple in the pipeline that I might have to whip out. But conspiracy theories is something that has overtaken my algorithm on Instagram, thanks to Jared. So, love to share some of these interesting ones, for
All
sure.
Right, next time for sure, man. All right, brother. It's been good chatting with you. Good chatting with the people. All right, guys, hit the like button, subscribe. Let us know what you think. All feedback is welcome. Try to keep it as constructive as you can, but all feedback is welcome.
Dude, you just opened Pandora's box. Great. We're gonna get death threats.
But all right, man. Until next time, brother.
Until next time. Y'all come back now, you hear?